Hello, everybody. It's been a while, but here I am once again, Brother Kenneth Thomas, coming to you from the Brothers Mercy campus with the Campus Conversations with Brother Ken. Before I introduce my guest, I'd like to give a shout out, a reminder to our cameraman, Liam O'Mahony. That's a mouthful. That's the Irish pronunciation. Liam is our videographer, our director, and our editor, and I'm one of the co-editors, co-producer with Liam. So anyway, today I'd like to introduce our guest, Brian Anderson. Hi,
Thank
Brian.
you.
Welcome, and good to see you again. I've recently met Brian within the last few months, and Brian is one of our newer volunteers, correct?
Correct.
Here at the Brothers Mercy, mostly at the Nursing and Rehab Center.
Oh, at the Nursing and Rehab Center, yes.
Right, for now. So Brian, what drew you to become a volunteer, and how long have you been with the Brothers of Mercy?
Well, is it one word answer to that with a long explanation?
The long explanation is fine.
Yeah, so what drew me to become a volunteer is the staff, the people that work here at the Brothers of Mercy. I had a couple of aunts that were residents at the nursing and rehab facility, and one was actually in independent living, then assisted living, and then in the rehab center. Alice Girdlestone, she was a volunteer here as well,
Alice.
yes, and Mary Girdlestone. And one of the things that that I want to express, and to everybody in the staff here, whether they're in the rehab center or up on the floors and the wings, the nurses and nurses assistants, etc., they take such great care of the residents. And you know, all the residents have a great story. They all had fascinating lives, and it's very interesting to talk to them and hear what they did, and hear about their families, hear about their travels, their accomplishments. So every resident has a unique story, but every volunteer has a story as well. But the difference with the volunteer stories, and I like to refer to us as the Mercy Corps of volunteers, but the difference is we all have the same nucleus, and that is nearly all, if not all of us, had someone that was in the care of the staff here at the Brothers of Mercy. And we saw that they were treated and cared for with a smile, with dignity, with compassion for their condition, with a gentle touch. And to see your loved ones in their later years be so well taken care of and so happy and so comfortable, that's what drove me, and I know the other volunteers. That's why we wanted to become part of this. We wanted to help where we could help the staff achieve what they do. And I think a lot of the younger staff here probably maybe does not know that this has been going on for 100 years, this kind, caring, compassionate care. And they're part of a legacy of that.
And I'm glad you mentioned that, because now we've gone over the hump of 100 years and headed hopefully for another 100 years.
Yes.
We may not be around, but we hope it continues.
Probably not around, but yes. So that's what drove me to volunteer, and I think I can speak for the Mercy Corps volunteers in that regard too, because
that's a great name.
Yeah.
You might have just found a label for the
with Val as our fearless leader.
Yes, she is. So what are your main roles on campus at the Nursing and Rehab Center?
So my main roles are to transport residents to and from physical therapy, occupational therapy, and the beauty salon. And part of that transport is interacting with them. You know, we brighten each other's days, and it's a very nice feeling, and it's fun. It's fun to interact with the residents and be part of their day.
That's good. Tell us about your career path that brought you to campus now.
My career path. So I was in food sales. I worked for manufacturers. I worked for Nestle for a number of years, and I worked for Riches here in Buffalo. Just two companies my whole career. That's a little unusual these days, I know, but At any rate,
That's good.
yes. So Nestle especially moved me all over. So I was here in Western New York. I was in New York City. I was in Kansas. I was in California. When I was with Riches, I started in Buffalo, went back to California, and at different points I managed all of the wholesaler, independent, regional chain business for the country. So I've been exposed to a lot of different really cultures within the United States. And as I got to the end of my career, I wanted to come back to Buffalo because this is home. This is a lovely place to live. So that's what brought me back here just a couple of years ago.
Great. And what, I don't know if it's on here, but what brought you to the Brothers of Mercy? Was it, I think you said it before, but was it your relatives?
Yes.
I think you said, I might have missed part of it. Oh, yes, that's me. Anyway, what is an average daily routine for your position? And you mentioned some of it, but in the volunteer services.
So I can elaborate on that a little bit too, because I work very closely with Alice Sosa, who happens to be the Volunteer of the Year for 2024. She really showed me the ropes, and we work the same days. And so Alice and I, we both do the transport for therapy and for the beauty salon, but beauty salon days are very busy days. And Wednesdays with Gal and Thursdays with Debbie. So Alice and I split those days. So on Wednesdays, I'll do the therapy in the morning, and she'll do the beauty salon, and then we'll switch. And it just gives us a lot of exposure and to the different residents, but also we can trade off in that regard. If we speak frequently throughout the day, if she gets really busy, I can step in, and vice versa. So and all of the volunteers, Alice is the one I work mostly with, but they're so friendly along with the staff. And that's a typical day. It's a fun day here.
That's great.
Fun days.
That's great. I'd like to hear it. How do you envision the impact on the campus and community when the new Russell J. Salvatore Health Center opens later in the summer? And you're aware of the Russell J. Salvatore Health Center?
Yes.
So how do you envision the impact, or what do you envision the impact that will have on campus?
I think that the impact that it will have will attract more residents for when they get to that stage where they are either in temporarily for therapy or they need to be a permanent resident, because they'll be exposed to the care. The therapists are fantastic. That's a beautiful facility. They'll see what happens at the Brothers of Mercy. They'll be comfortable to come here later on in their lives if needed.
Okay. Do you have goals for yourself or the campus for the rest of 2024 that you would like to share? I think that's in realms to what you do here on campus.
Yes. I've got a couple goals, I guess. One of them is down the road exploring getting involved with the activities that happen on campus, because I saw that with my relatives, and I see it daily. There's a lot of activities that are scheduled for the residents, so that they're not just sitting in the room all day, all night, and they're in the evening, they're during the day, and some of them are bigger group activities where some of the residents will get to interact with residents that aren't on the floor or aren't in their wing, that they normally might not interact with. And I think I know it's extremely important for the happiness of the residents, so I'd like to get more involved in that somehow. And then the other piece, I guess, is fundraising that I've been just touching on a little bit within the last few weeks. The Muffaletta Mix is the Brothers of Mercy Muffaletta Mix.
It's one of my
product.
Babies.
Yes,
Peter,
I heard that. Yes. So
and I'm sure Tony and Al and everybody at the foundation could use your help,
yeah,
or would appreciate your help.
yeah. And I met with them actually Wednesday, 2 days ago, to discuss some ideas that I have, because I was in the food industry. I was selling to retail, and I really became exposed to the, if you will, the muffaletta mix at the farmers market, the Clarence Hollow Farmers Market, and we had record sales that day, but we sampled it with people. They tried it, they loved it. They could see different uses for it besides just a muffaletta sandwich. I think there's a huge opportunity to increase those sales, and I know it's a great
and if you can tell by
fundraiser.
my eyes are lighting up.
Yeah, so
Like I said, that was one of my pet projects. So
yeah, and there's a lot of opportunities. They sell it in dashes right now, and there's a couple of delis and sandwich shops that sell it. But this could be a pizza topping, local pizzerias. It could be a specialty sandwich. It is, because I've been in New Orleans a lot for work. That's where that originates from. It's
Right.
out of New Orleans, and it is seasonal. There's a stronger season for it, and that's leading up to Lent. So I'm envisioning trying to reach out to some places like Topico Pizza, for example, and some sandwich shops, and see if they want to do like a special for a month leading up to Fat Tuesday,
right.
et cetera, just to get more exposure for it. And I know there's a sandwich shop in Akron that has a muffaletta sandwich every day. So I'm gonna check that out and see how they're doing that, and then just try and expand that throughout the community.
That's great. I know when we were talking about the activities, I got to thinking, I remember seeing you at the concerts.
Yes.
Did you enjoy the concerts? This is the curveball. I usually throw somebody a curveball. So.
I did enjoy the concerts. I love those events. I think they're fun, and you can tell that the residents really appreciate it. They're getting outside. It's live music, and who doesn't like that? So
Right. And for those of you watching, they're all finished for the summer, but every summer we have about 3 concerts from local cover bands. And I know Brian and I both enjoyed those, along with hundreds of others this summer. So, to move on, if you came across people in the community who asked you what they might love about working or volunteering at the Brothers of Mercy, what would you tell them?
I would tell them, it's going to repeat myself a little bit, but that working, volunteering, or working with the residents, that they all have fascinating lives, and when you walk through and you see a lot of the people are in wheelchairs and things, and until you start talking to them, then you can envision what their life was like, what they contributed to the world over the years of their life, and they speak of it very proudly. They're excited about it. They're excited to tell somebody, and I'm interested in it, and I think most everybody that interacts with them is interested in that. So I mean that's a huge benefit of volunteering, but also it makes you feel good, fulfilled. You're retired. You're not just watching TV or something. You're helping out. You're becoming part of the Brothers of Mercy community, which, as I mentioned, all of us, the Mercy Corps volunteers, truly appreciate that what the Brothers of Mercy does for the residents.
So the rewards of volunteering make up for the lack of pay.
Yes.
So what hobbies or activities do you enjoy outside of work?
Well, I recently started running again this year. I used to run all the time, and I got back into that.
You got to do the 5K?
I am. I'm signed up. I got sponsors even.
Great.
They're making donations on my behalf. So, anyhow, so I like to run. I like to exercise. I just moved back from California a little bit over 2 years ago. I was out there 21 years. So I really enjoy spending time with my extended family, and also my partner and I. She and I like to go see live music. She was at that concert as well.
I remember meeting her.
Yes, and so that's it. Exercise and entertainment.
Right, and for those of you who do not know, I'm going to add down that we do have the Brothers of Mercy Oktoberfest and 5K scheduled for Friday, September 6th, 2024. Usually we don't like to date these videos, but this time I'm making an exception. So Brian, is there anything else you have to say before we end on a great note?
Yes, I want anybody who works here at the Brothers of Mercy, I want to thank you. I am so grateful for everything you do, your predecessors did, how comfortable and happy you make the residents feel. And I know I speak for the Corps of Mercy volunteers in expressing that gratitude. So thank you very much.
Well, and we also thank you for volunteering. And Val, we have one audience member here, so she was trying to hide, but I felt that I needed to point her out. She's already had her day on the camera, and also did a wonderful job. But as we always say, we couldn't do it without the volunteers, right, Val?
Right.
Right, she's there nodding her head, smiling. So we definitely couldn't do what we do without the Corps of Volunteers, Mercy volunteers, as you put it. So Brian, once again, I'd like to thank you for being my guest and joining me in this conversation, and thank Liam for all he does and Val for all you do. And guess that's it. The rest is just walls and lights.
Thank you. Appreciate it.